Now, let's check a look at how this week started in the NFL.
Here we are. It's a rematch of last year's NFC Championship game.
Adams makes the adjustment. Touchdown! Oh, what a catch!
Everybody knows he's going to be the guy, and they still can't stop him.
Mullins hit as he throws the left side. It's intercepted. Rodgers fakes the handoff. Mercedes Lewis, touchdown! Rodgers rainbows down the middle, got MVS, touchdown!
I think he's having fun.
Yeah, I'll say so. Snap to Mullins. Hit from behind. It looks like it's Green Bay ball. It is! The Packers going to win just what the doctor ordered. The game was really never in doubt.
Feels great to win. Feels good to be 6-2 at the halfway point, first in the division.
All right, it's time now for the Lowe's Home Studio, guys. I ask you, as we're sitting by our cozy fire, how does it feel?
It's warm.
I'm going to start with you, Irv. Who is the best team in the NFC?
Man, you know, it's hard to pick anyone other than the Tampa Bay Buccaneers right now. And we're talking about what we see them do right now and what I'm projecting them to do when they get that asset that they're starting with today. You guys didn't hear something when they gave that report. Antonio Brown said, oh, he's one of my best friends. I was like, man, that was quick to become a best friend. But what it says is the commitment he has to Tom Brady. So this team, Tampa right now, who's best at stopping the run, and right now, fourth and 31 points per game, getting that asset to be added, I say they're the best team, and they're getting better. That's the scary part.
And we're using the term team, right? It's complete team. Because I look at Seattle, and I still believe Seattle's the best offense. Russell Wilson's playing unbelievable. Wide receivers are playing great. But we know what's happening on the other side. And I look at all the teams in the NFC, and I go, okay, nobody has a really good two sides of the ball, right? Where they're dominant on both sides of the ball. So I still believe that Tom Brady and company have a ways to go offensively. They're not hitting on all cylinders offensively. AB will help as they try to figure that out. But because of that defense and what the defense can do stopping the run, what they can do at making plays on the back end, even though they're young, they're the most complete team right now with an offense that I believe will only get better, Coach. So I've got to agree with you. Even though there's some better parts out there for other teams, most complete team is Tampa Bay.
Yeah, I agree that they are, and they're getting better. But they do have a couple of losses, right, guys? I mean, you're talking about Seattle, who I think probably is the best team. They only have one loss, and it's an overtime loss to the Cardinals. But you got an offense that is dynamic. Yes, their defense in Seattle isn't what it needs to be. However, you're getting back Jamal Adams, all right?
And you got that man back there.
Carlos Dunlap was traded for, so he'll alternate in as a pass rusher. They're trying to get better on defense, so they're having to outscore everybody. But right now, you're talking about probably those two teams, Seattle and the Bucs. You know, Packers looking in, but the Bucs really dominated the Packers last time they played, right, guys?
I mean, Seattle, you know, Russell Wilson, if there is a way that you can stop Seattle, Russell will find a way to make something happen. That gives them just a little edge. Like, okay, if we can get to Tom Brady, we can shut all this down. We can shut it all down. But Russell finds a way, and that keeps them in there.
Yeah, he sure does. So let's send it over to Jeff Chadiha in Kansas City for more on the Panthers and the Chiefs.
Thanks, Mooch. Well, here in Kansas City, there's, obviously the Chiefs have a tremendous offense. They're averaging 31 points a game. But the big play, the big passing play, particularly between Patrick Mahomes and Irvin. We talked to Mahomes about this. He said, look, it's about being patient. We realize that defenses are playing us differently. They're playing more coverage, trying to take away that home run play. But the good thing about this team is they only care about winning. So whatever it takes to get the job done, they will do. You saw last week when Mahomes threw for 400 yards and 5 touchdown passes. They can air it out. This week, we'll see how Carolina plays them. So now we'll go to Ian with more about Christian McCaffrey.
Thanks, Jeff. Christian McCaffrey, one of the best running backs in football and one of the best fantasy players in football, returns today. That's good news for real football and fantasy football. But I'm told it's going to be a little different now that he's back on the field. Expect McCaffrey to rotate series with Mike Davis, who capably filled in for McCaffrey when he was gone about 6 weeks with a high ankle sprain. The plan is to have neither of these guys play too many plays in a row to make sure they are fresh. Think about what New Orleans does with Alvin Kamara and Latavius Murray, kind of like that. Plus, the Panthers have Curtis Samuel, who also has 2 rushing touchdowns the last 2 weeks. They think they got a lot of weapons. Meanwhile, for the New Orleans Saints, Michael Thomas, one of the best receivers in football, is expected to play today, assuming his pregame workout goes well. I'm told, Rich, he was very very active this week in practice.
All right, Ian, thanks very much. Speaking of very active, they are going to be very active in fantasy today, we assume, and Kay Adams is going to be joining us right now. Hey, Kay, how are you here on this Sunday morning?
Hi, I'm wonderful. Thank you. I'm a little nervous with Ian's trying to sway me off playing Christian McCaffrey.
Okay.
I'm not having it, Rich. I'm so excited to welcome the superstar back into my lineup. Yes, Mike Davis is there. You should not get rid of him. You should keep him around. He's going to have that Latavius Murray type situation. I don't know if I'd start him today. I'm just not the kind of fantasy owner who can get cute and overthink. I can't not have CMC in there. Game script is not an issue. I feel like they really didn't rush to get him back. They took their time with CMC in this injury. I might play a guy like James Robinson over Christian McCaffrey against the Texans. That's probably a situation some fantasy owners are dealing with. Maybe David Montgomery against the Titans. That's a little dicey. But Christian McCaffrey, Rich, over Clyde Edwards-Helaire, over Todd Gurley. I'm going to go ahead and say over Zeke Elliott if you're in that sort of a situation or playing in daily. Another superstar that is on his way back, Michael Thomas. I want no questions about this at Game Day NFL. I don't want any questions about this at GMFB. Michael Thomas, welcome him back. Give yourself a little woo, woo, woo. Open arms, welcome wagon. You drafted him in the first round. I'm not nervous about tonight. They're going to need him and use him. If anything, it gives Drew Brees an uptick. He has not been a top fantasy quarterback this season.
So who are your sleepers today? Since those are two very well-known individuals, who do you got for us further down?
Yes. Just wanted to give those superstars a little love, Rich. Let's go to some sleepers. Do not sleep on Jerry Jeudy. He's emerging. He's looking really good. He's getting targets. He had double-digit targets. Last week against the Chargers, he put up 4 grabs for 73 yards. A perfect fill-in for fantasy All-Pro. Fulgham, for Kupp, or Woods, they are all on a bye. The Broncos get the Falcons. This Falcons defense has allowed the second most yards to receivers this year. Bonus, I also like Noah Fant here today. At running back, do not sleep on Justin Jackson. 20 touches for 142 total yards last week against a sneaky, stingy Broncos defense. The Raiders have been tougher against the run of late. I'm still subscribing to the volume, the opportunity Jackson is getting. I think it'll be a high-scoring affair between these two teams. The Raiders defense still top 10 most generous to running backs. Okay. This one I'm a little less confident about, Rich. It's Damian Harris. I'm going rogue here a little bit against my better judgment that the backfield for New England has been a fantasy migraine since the Stephen Ridley days. But Harris has been a bright spot for the Patriots. It's hard to think he'll take the ball out of his hands after a 100-yard, 1-touchdown performance against the Bills last week. He's got an extra day to rest that ankle for Monday night action. Game script, I think, would dictate that our guy Harris will get the ball against your Jets. So we'll see how it goes. And yes, Rich, I'm not putting Latavius Murray in my sleepers for probably the first time in several weeks, which means you know he's going to have a Dalvin Cook-like performance against the Bucs tonight.
All good. There's still a whole season left. There's still a whole season left and a whole show left, and we'll see you later on with the fantasy must-starts for week number 9, and obviously, in the next hour, you're going to be sitting down with Titans quarterback Ryan Tannehill, so we look forward to that. That's Kay Adams right here on NFL Game Day morning.
You were one game away from the Super Bowl. What did you learn on that just playoff run that you can put towards this season and getting there again?
You got to finish. I think going into Kansas